Okay, so we're going to start into chapter 7, and we're getting into bonds and, what bonds are and things like that. Now, in chapter 7, we have when we're talking about bonds, a couple of things you need to know. First off, par value or face value. This is the amount that you're paid at maturity. Okay. Coupon rate, you can see, is the stated coupon interest rate. Annual coupon is divided by the face value, gives us our coupon rate. The maturity date is when we get our initial principal back, and the yield to maturity is our required rate of return. So if we go back to our timeline and look at this, so we have our timeline. We have our face value or future value. Okay. We have our maturity date. We have our yield to maturity, and then of course we have our present value or price of the bond. So when we're looking at the definitions, that's what you're looking at on the timeline. We also have our payment here, which is correlated with our coupon rate. Okay. So if you're looking at the timeline, that is what you're looking at. Now, in this chapter, there are a lot of definitions. Quite honestly, I'm not going to go through all of them just because you don't want to sit and listen to me drone like an encyclopedia. But these are the main ones. The rest of them, I'm counting on you guys to go through your textbook, look at your highlighted words in blue, and make sure you get all those definitions in the chapter. Okay. Now, when we're talking about bonds, as with any asset, okay, any asset, whether it's stocks, a car, opening a business, any asset, right? The present value or the price of the bond is the present value of the coupon payments plus the present value of our par value or face value. Okay, so if we look at it in terms of what we've done in the past in chapters 5 and 6, we treat it as an annuity. So we're looking at the present value of the cash streams, those equal payments at equal intervals for a finite period of time, plus that present value of that lump sum at the end. If you want to put it in other terms, basically it's the present value of all the future expected cash flows. Okay. And with bonds, as interest rates increase, present value decreases, and as interest rates increase, bond prices go down. So the main thing that you need to see here is that there is an inverse relationship between interest rates and bond prices. Currently, interest rates are practically zero, so bond prices right now are up, and down the road, as those interest rates go up, bond prices will go down, and we'll see that a little bit later on in the chapter. Here's an example of a bond. I'll do this one with you. Considering a bond, coupon rate of 10%, annual coupons, right? Par value of $1,000 and has 5 years to maturity, a yield to maturity of 11%. We have the formula there. We could put this on our timeline. Okay, draw that out. We have 5 years to maturity. We're looking for a yield to maturity of 11%. We got $1,000 face value. Okay, we have a coupon rate of 10%. So when we take our $1,000 times our 10%, we get our coupon of $100. So that is our payment. So if we highlight these, we've got yield to maturity. There's our N. There's our face value, future value. There's our payment. And of course, what we're looking for is present value. Okay, so if we key that into our calculator, you can see that you'd come up with present value of $963.40 Now, the thing to see here too is that this bond is selling below face value, so that makes it what we call a discount bond. And that's one of the nice things about our bonds is they pretty much tell you which direction you're going. You can see that the coupon rate is lower than the yield to maturity. So that is going to tell you that the present value or the price of this bond is always going to be below our face value. Okay, now if we flip the coin on that, or on the other side of the coin is what we have premium bonds. And you can see, so we've, in this case, okay, we have 20 years to maturity. Okay, we still have the 10% coupon rate. And now our yield to maturity is 8%. And again, we'll highlight these variables so you can see yield to maturity. That's going to be our IY. There's our N, face value, future value, payment. Okay, and we're looking for present value, and we come up with $1,000. There, $1,196.36. Here, this is a premium bond because you can see our coupon rate is paying us more interest than what we have in the market, and so that is obviously, if you're investing, you want the higher return. Okay, 10's greater than 8, so supply and demand, there's a limited supply of bonds out there. With it having a higher rate of return than what you could find in the market, then demand for that bond should be high. So this company is basically saying, who's going to pay me the most for this bond? And that's what you have. Okay. The last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is the relationship between the price and the yield to maturity. Okay, so we have a 10-year coupon, and you can see here coupon rate 8%, $1,000 par, right? So as our yield to maturity gets higher, okay, we can see that our price is going down. And folks, all this is the time value money concept. All things equal, the greater the interest rate, the lower the present value. And so that is what you're seeing on this graph here.